The days pass in a blur. Though things should be less busy considering the circumstances, my schedule only gets tighter with the wedding so close. Am I actually going to see the wedding this time? Am I only going to get teased again? I just need a wedding. Just give me a wedding. Claude and I have far too many rehearsals, and my family continues to ask for my opinions about the feast that will occur afterward. The days are more exhausting than they have been in weeks. You need a long honeymoon to recover. It is the night before the wedding ceremony. Oh, and I finally have some time to myself. Or at least so I think. Yet when I step in through the door, the room is not vacant. Claude sits at the piano, playing some soft, melancholy tune. At first, he does not seem to notice me, and I contemplate whether or not to surprise him. Yet before I can think to do anything, he suddenly stops playing to look at me. Hey, slow your roll, buddy. There's one more day.
Ah, Lucette, my beautiful wife. That lacks impact, doesn't it? I think I prefer my beautiful queen. What do you think?
Queen. The weight of that word is only made lighter when I consider the fact that Claude will be sitting right beside me. But even then, the thought is strange. So literally, as soon as you get married, you inherit the kingdom. Man, they don't give you time to adjust to marriage or anything. It's just like, and congratulations, you have a country to run. It is hard to imagine myself ever sitting on my father's throne. I reach for the two plush toys on my bed, the Beauty and the Beast. Claude leans against the piano with a smile. For a few moments, a soft quiet descends.
May I ask you a question, darling?
I look up at him, curious. I nod my head.
2 years ago, when you came to me for advice on how to be good, do you remember what I first said to you?
That was 2 years ago in the tavern when I was still trying to understand what goodness meant. The first piece of advice that Claude gave me pertained to... I did just watch this through not that long ago. I'm pretty sure it was beauty. It's like you have to be beautiful on the outside as well as the inside. Or was it the other way around? I know beauty was the thing, though. Yeah, okay. As Lucette said. Wasn't it something about being beautiful both on the inside and out?
You remember.
It is impossible not to. You put painstaking effort into your appearance, always.
I did.
You still do. Claude grins. It's true.
Of course. But back then it was a beauty that was meant to hide the truth rather than express it. Miss Karma is my favorite disguise, you know.
You make it sound like you had more than one.
Who is to say I didn't? I did like sneaking out of the palace and avoiding my responsibilities.
He pauses for a few moments, contemplating. Then softly he sighs.
There was a time when I valued beauty above all other things, even when a witch decided to make my so-called beauty a curse.
He points at the Beast plush that I have in my hands.
I never liked the Beauty and the Beast fairy tale growing up. I always thought that the witch was being too cruel to the prince, dooming him to an empty life if he didn't learn a hard lesson. When a witch set a similar curse upon me, I despised her. I wanted to prove that I could break her spell without changing. I never realized how much I needed to change until...
His eyes fall on me.
Until you came along. Had I not met you, Lucette, I might have still been the same cursed man. Maybe I would have been a little wiser, but I would still be the spoiled crown prince of Brigantia.
And now, he comes to sit beside me with a smile.
The crown prince of Angielle and future husband to the loveliest lady in this realm. The most beautiful on the inside and out.
He takes the Beast plush from my hands and holds it up.
So you see, just like the prince in the fairy tale, I only found my true calling when I met you, Princess. And I wanted to thank you for that.
I leaned my head on his shoulder with a smile. You don't need to thank me, Claude.
Is that it? No heartwarming response, love?
I laugh as I nuzzle my head into the crook of his neck. I am saving that for my wedding vow tomorrow. You'll have to wait patiently until then.
I suppose I don't have a choice in the matter, do I?
He kisses the top of my head. A gentle silence falls over us after that, but it is comfortable and calming. I am content to wrap my arms around Claude's waist and settle my head on his shoulder. Thank you, Claude. Is it actually happening? May it be granted that what is done before the gods cannot be undone by man. Before I proclaim you joined by marriage, thou must seal this pact with a kiss. I've heard these words so many times before, but here, in front of so many people, they seem to ring even louder. Still, I will not falter. The crown princess is always confident. I take a step forward to clasp Claude's hands in mine, but before I can even place one foot in front of the other, he has already stepped so close our noses brush. It is all I can do to keep from gasping when he puts one hand on my back and tips me backward. Perfect. Please, just let me have this. I thought it was going to be backward. Oh, but she's so beautiful. They're both so pretty. Oh, it's so lovely. Look at these two. I could gaze at this forever. I'm sad that I didn't get this with Rod. I want a wedding with all these boys. At least I got it here, though. I am satisfied. Claude smiles at me mischievously. He is so close I can feel his breath on my cheeks. A ripple of sound runs through the crowd, and I cannot tell whether it is laughter or chattering. This wasn't in the rehearsal! I whisper the words into his ear, my cheeks flushed.
The rehearsal was very boring. I think I had the leisure of breaking some rules.
I do not have it in me to protest. Claude always has a way of assuaging my worries. He is himself no matter the circumstance. His confidence might sometimes be overbearing, but it is also inspiring.
I'm only so bold because I have such a confident queen.
You may now kiss the bride. Yay! Hold on. Yay! Neither of us hears the minister. In fact, Claude plants a kiss on my lips before he even finishes his sentence. The applause echoing around us is nothing but background sound. All I can feel in those single heart-stopping moments are Claude's lips on mine and his gentle warmth all around me.
I love you, my beautiful queen.
Titles aside, his words make my heart swell with pride. I kiss him again on the cheek before placing my forehead to his. I love you too, Claude. Oh. The Midnight Ball. There's another chapter. I thought it was going to end there. I'm like, oh, this is going to be a very short episode. Not so. It got me with that bonus chapter again.
If the invitation is correct, then this should be the place.
Claude and I pause in front of the doors to the throne room. Claude is still holding the anonymous invitation that arrived at our door earlier. He pulls his gaze from the invitation and up to the double doors. The sound behind the door is muted, but not inaudible. We could hear the chattering sounds of a boisterous crowd even while we were still at the end of the hall.
Darlene, what is this?
I wonder. Maybe it's one of those Brigantian midnight balls. Claude raises an eyebrow at me as he tucks the envelope into one of his pockets and starts forward. He pushes the doors to the throne room open without hesitation. Stepping into the throne room is like stepping into another, more richly decorated world. Elaborate tables filled with overwhelming displays of food and decorations stand beneath a dazzling array of sparkling chandeliers and vibrant lights. Claude stares at everything in wide-eyed awe. His being at a loss for words make me smile. What? Cat got your tongue?
What is all of this? It's nearly midnight.
The minute he says the words, the clock chimes 12. The sound, though muted, still chimes in the background beneath the layers of live orchestra music. Of course it is midnight. It wouldn't be a midnight ball otherwise. Claude stares around him once again, his confusion giving way to a bright smile.
A midnight ball. Did Lance tell you about them?
He did. I have been working with him and Emmeline to create as accurate a portrayal as possible. Claude directs his attention to the center of the room, where various rose decorations have been put on display. Performers, some of them witches, surround the perimeter of the room and perform for all in attendance.
Lucette.
He turns to me.
I love it, darling.
He leans down to kiss me softly on the lips, but only briefly before turning away with a strange look on his face.
Was it Llama's suggestion to throw the celebration tonight?
It was, but why does that matter?
Ah, it's no wonder he put off leaving Angielle.
He frowns at someone in the crowd. I follow his gaze to Lance, who is dancing at the center of the ballroom with Emmeline. Both of them are too engaged with each other to even spare us a glance. Yes.
Leave it up to Lance to ruin my plans in the best way possible.
Your plans? Claude's frown disappears, and in a heartbeat the smile has returned to his face. He pulls me closer to him and kisses the top of my head.
It's nothing, darling. For now, we celebrate.
What plans did you have? He leads me right into the middle of the crowd, and from then on the atmosphere of the midnight party shifts. Even the nobles whom I do not usually speak with are more open in front of Claude, and the night becomes one filled with chatter and cheer. Everywhere we go, there are congratulations and handshakes. Before, greeting so many people would have been overwhelming, but Claude exudes so much confidence that it's impossible not to get wrapped up in the moment. Most everyone from the Marchen is here tonight, along with guests both esteemed and foreign. I speak with as many of my acquaintances as I can that night, and, on one occasion, even chase after one of them when he makes no sign of having noticed me. Garland! Garland stops and whirls to face me, his face beet red. Is something wrong? Why is he so flushed? I saw him patrolling the outside area earlier, but he was pacing back and forth and looked restless. I glanced down at his hands and noticed that one of them has closed into a fist. Is it happening for you guys? No, nothing to report, Your Highness. What is it that you are holding? Garland lets out a deep sigh before uncurling his fingers. Huh. I startle when I see a small palm-sized box in his hands. He quickly closes his fingers over the box again. It's a ring. For Jurian. It takes me a few moments to understand. Processing. But once I do, I cannot help the smile that pulls at my lips. I made certain that we both get the same breaks tonight so that I could... well, you know. If you proposed to Jurian in public, she would punch you, wouldn't she? Absolutely. But even worse than that, I'd lose my words in the crowd. It still surprises me that Garland's confidence never wavers when he deals with his fellow knights, but anything related to Jurian makes him blush. Good luck, Garland. I am certain she'll accept. I really hope so. You and Prince Claude will be the first people to know the outcome, whatever the case. It is a good thing he didn't tell Claude he was going to propose. It would have been much harder to get into this ball if he insisted on spying on them. Garland gives a polite bow before heading off, cheeks still flushed. I'm sure that he'll be fine. Jurian will definitely accept.
Princess Lucette!
Well, hello, you two. Lance suddenly stands before me with a mischievous smile on his face. Emmeline is standing beside him, laughing breathlessly. The coy smile takes me by surprise. What else do you have planned, Lance?
Well, Princess...
It is just Lucette now. Lance is technically my brother-in-law now. He ought to call me by my name without my title. When I told him that a few days ago, he apologized profusely and told me he was unaccustomed to calling me without my title.
Sorry, Lucette. But as for plans, yes, I do have something in mind.
You chose this day for a reason, didn't you?
Of course.
He then briefly explains the rest of his plan to me. I am surprised by what he suggests, but not so overwhelmed that I back down.
I'll keep Claude occupied for the time being.
And I'm going with you, Lucette. I want to help you get dressed.
That won't be necessary.
You'll be done a lot faster with someone helping you, I promise.
Emmeline takes my hand and drags me behind her out of the throne room, as she does.
There, done!
Emmeline steps away from me with a smile.
You look lovely, Lucette.
She eyes the glass slippers on my feet. I have only worn them on rare occasions, and it is strange to be wearing them now, but Emmeline insisted they suited the dress Claude bought me for my birthday. Aww, I'm glad she kept the glass slippers. I still do not see why I had to come back and change. Couldn't I have just come into the ball with this dress in the first place?
It wouldn't have been like Cinderella if you showed up with the prince.
Aw, that's cute. I love this. Like Cinderella.
You've read the fairy tale enough times to know. You surprised Claude with the ball, but Lance wanted to help you surprise him some other way.
But why?
You'll see.
She takes my hand and pulls me back to the throne room. Okay. When we return to the throne room doors, I realize immediately that something is different. Though there are sounds behind the door, they are more subdued. The loud music from earlier is gone.
I'll go in first. Wait a few minutes after me, okay? Lance said you'd probably know what the signal was.
Wait, what is happening? Emmeline's only response to my question is a smile.
See you on the other side, Lucette.
Y'all so secretive. Emmeline pushes the doors open and steps inside. For a few moments I consider following her, despite what she said, but then I feel a noticeable shift in atmosphere. This... And then, suddenly, I hear it. Hey, it's the song again. I recognize the song immediately. It is soft and quiet, barely audible, and perhaps not suited to a midnight ball at first listen, but... The song. Claude? I make my way into the throne room. I half expect to see Claude sitting at the piano playing the song, but he is nowhere to be seen. The man at the piano is one of the court musicians. How does he know this song? I suddenly become aware of the fact that the room is quiet save for the song, and that everyone has turned to look at me. I feel mildly uncomfortable with so many people staring at me. But this is not like 2 years ago where the people looked at me in fear. Everyone here just looks awestruck, and the people that I do know are smiling. I notice someone shifting through the crowd and turn to gaze at them as they emerge onto the middle of the ballroom floor where the crowd is already parted. Claude is staring at me, awestruck. In that moment, I forget about everyone else there and smile only at him. It was worth putting this on just to see that look on his face. Claude startles, then smiles back at me just as brightly. He holds out his hand and I begin to walk toward him.
May I have this dance, Cinderella?
Cinderella? I have no idea who you are referring to. I slide my hand into his with a grin. Aww. He settles his other hand on the small of my back and pulls me closer.
You're right. It's wrong of me to compare you to Cinderella. After all, she couldn't hold a candle to you.
Oh? I thought you were fond of calling me Ice Princess, and now here you are using fire metaphors again.
I'm spontaneous, remember? I say whatever comes to my mind.
He begins the dance first, and I fall into step immediately beside him. We have danced together so many times that we do not even have to think about each other's movements. It isn't long before the area around us is crowded with other couples twirling and spinning beneath the same lights. Is this all spontaneous, then? Did you learn this song from one of the musicians?
No, I taught the song to him. This night was supposed to go very differently before Lance meddled, you know. I was going to have someone play this song in your room, and I was going to dance with you on the balcony. And then after that, I would serenade you into the night.
He glances down at my dress and at my shoes.
Instead, it seems that Lance somehow managed to orchestrate my plan out here. I told him about it before, and now it's turned out that he's used the information against me.
So rather than you surprising me, it was I who surprised you.
You think Llama's so nice, but then he goes and does things like this just to ruin my plans. Though I do have to admit that he made this a lot more spectacular than I anticipated. What do you think of the song?
He draws me closer to him after an underarm twirl. For a few moments I remain pressed against his chest, smiling. I love it. Where did you learn it?
Learn it? I composed it for you, darling.
Ah, my heart.
And now, apparently the whole kingdom will know that.
I catch Lance's eyes as we are twirling. He only winks as we spin away from him. That is fine. It's a beautiful song, and I hope more people start playing it.
Yes, and in your honor.
He pulls me close enough to plant a quick kiss on my lips.
You look radiant in that dress, Lucette.
Only because it is a beautiful dress chosen by a man who happens to be a dress connoisseur.
You flatter me, love.
He dips me and presses his forehead to mine.
It is my greatest pleasure in life to spoil you, you know.
Someday our responsibilities to the kingdom will have to come first. One day the king will ask me about a family, but for now. I wrap my arms around Claude's neck and kiss him. But for now, while I still can, I want to enjoy spoiling Claude and being spoiled by him. I love you, Claude.
I love you too, my darling Lucette.
The two of us continue to twirl under the chandeliers, two stars revolving around each other in a dazzlingly beautiful personal universe. Aww. And their love lasted forevermore. Good karma. With a chameleon. Good karma, chameleon. That is so beautiful. I got my wedding. Yay. That was really... This has nothing to do with the overall route. I was just thinking, like, how we didn't get a sprite of Lucette in that dress. And the dress looked different from the dress we saw her in Rod's route, that we didn't get a full CG of, which is... I don't know, it's kind of interesting to me. I wonder if we're going to see that dress somewhere else in someone else's route? Oh, what a good route, though. I love Claude. He's great. I'm trying to decide, though, between him and Rod. Which I had to do in the first game as well. Like, personality-wise, Claude is my boy. I love him. He's so over-the-top and fun and so sweet and caring and flirtatious, and I just love him. He makes me laugh all the time. But on the other hand, Rod's route was also just full of sugar. I think my only problem with Claude's route is so much time is spent with Lance. Which I like Lance. Lance as a character is nice, and I enjoyed getting to know him and seeing the relationship between him and his brother. And that was all written really well. But I just felt like maybe Lucette wasn't as involved somehow. this story as with Rod's story. I'm not sure what it is. I might just be crazy. You guys can tell me if I'm crazy. But I just feel like there was a lot of Lance-ness going on. And I'm like, okay, Lance, that's nice, but could you, like, leave so I can just gaze at the beauty that is Karma and have more Karma Lucette having banter and stuff? But I mean, other than that, it was great. I really enjoyed this, getting more Karma. Felt bad seeing him lose his confidence and stuff, but I'm glad we got it back in the end. But yeah, I'm just not sure between him and Rod. I gotta think about it. Because I really liked how Lucette was really involved with the family in Rod's route, and how much time she just spent with Rod figuring things out, and with her family figuring things out, and I don't know. I'm just not... I think, too, like, she was learning magic in Rod's route, and she just... I feel like Lucette had a bigger part to play somehow. And in this, it was a lot of Claude sulking, Lance is sulking, help the brothers, like, become better brothers. She definitely was involved, but anyway. Hey, look at that, we got rose calligraphy. Awesome. Yeah, I'm just not sure what it is. I know I enjoyed the heck out of Claude's route, though. For sure. Both of these routes were great. And I love that he plays the piano, we got our wedding, and so many good things. I'm gonna have to do some soul searching. As I often do. Let's be honest. These boys, they just play with my heart. But anyway, that was Claude, or Karma's route as we used to know him. I hope you guys enjoyed his route. I certainly did. It was lovely. And I believe that was the best ending. Let us check. I would imagine so. Yes. Best end. So, with that being said, next time we will get his good ending and see how things change. I imagine they're still going to get married, but maybe the midnight ball doesn't happen. Maybe Claude gets to do his serenade, which I would be actually more than okay with. So, yeah. We shall see what we shall see. But anyway, thank you guys for joining me for this. Hope you enjoyed yourselves, and until next time, I will see you later.